All right, sorry about that. Um, Kind of was about to get distracted. Got caught up, almost like lost my train of thought, and had to catch it real quick. Took a little bit of a break, have my drink, and also I cut off the bit where I got a little bit distracted there. Um, but I was saying is I'm gonna be pretty open and honest with myself. Um, the only thing I won't talk about too much will be things that I'm not sure should be like I'll check with people before I share anything that I might consider private or don't or it's a gray area for me. So if anything that's gray, it's not straight up my information, I won't share because it's not my business. I'm not going to share any details with my family, stuff like that. So my family or friends, it'll just be about me. I'll mention things like my mom and I, or my brother and I, like that kind of thing. I'll mention them, but I won't say their names, and I won't. Um, I'll say my brother or my mom or a friend, and then if they are open to it, then I'll include them. You know, but if not, I'm gonna keep their privacy. You know, because this is not about that. This is about making new friends, and anybody who wants to join in on this is great, but anybody who doesn't, that's fine. And this is about me telling my stories and meeting people. And like I said, if they're into it, that's cool. If they're not, no worries. And so, yeah, I'm sure this will kind of split what people want to listen to me. Maybe they'll listen to me because they don't like this kind of stuff, but or other people will listen because I do. But um, for the last 2 years or so, yeah, for the last 2 years and some change, I worked at a dispensary in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I left recently. As much as I'll say, I'll reference the store and I'll reference situations that happened there, but I won't mention any details with anybody who, um, any identifying details about people, because this is about my perspective on things and my understanding of things, and then anybody who wants to involve themselves can. Like I said, I probably can stop reiterating that, but that's the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to be as open and honest about my own beliefs and opinions and uh, the context I have for situations, but I won't speak on anybody's behalf or um, speak about anybody without the permission. Um, and to that end, I've last couple of years I worked at a dispensary, and I before that I've done odd jobs here and there, but I was in the guard for a period of time in Texas, um, and then before that I was active duty um, in uh, uh, Las Vegas, Nevada, um, and I was here in Vegas the first time from 2012 to 2016. Um, and I was stationed out here. I joined the Air Force hoping to travel, and because when my mom was married to a Marine for a brief period of time, and when they were married, we traveled, and at one of the places we went was Okinawa, Japan. That was a great time of my life. I really loved it there. Japan is amazing, and I really liked my time in Okinawa, and have always really admired and been inspired by Japanese culture and um, everything I've seen. Like I said, I lived in Okinawa. I've not been fortunate enough to visit mainland Japan more than an airport stop on the way to Okinawa, um, and maybe away from to like Hawaii or something like that. But I've never really been into Japan, like mainland Japan, but Okinawa is amazing. Um, and when I lived there, that was some of the best years of my life. I've always had like gaps in my memories. I've had when I was younger, I had a head injury that like I think has been like slowly healing over time, and like I had gaps in my memory that I've slowly been recovering, but they were all about like happy events in my life, and I think it was just due to head trauma. Because when I was 8 years old, I had a pretty bad concussion, and that kind of, I feel like I was a different person from that point forward, and then I've kind of recovered that person. Like I've kind of um, like I healed that part of my brain, all like the happy moments. Because like that wasn't I wasn't like that was like the epicenter. So it was like a ripple effect forward too, where all those like some of those emotions and those connected thoughts were made hard. Like my brain has been hard to form long term memories for a long time. I'm good with information, and I'm good with short term memory, and I have like good like I can recall like facts about just stuff like data, but for a long time my own life was hard for me to recall. A weird kind of head trauma nonsense, and recently that's been healing, and I feel like I woke up, and I know people are gonna be like, "You mean woke?" No, no, like generally my brain healed. I feel like I don't know if I would say I'm fully healed because I don't know if that's ever a thing, but I feel like I am the new me, and I feel like I woke up as far as my own personal understanding of that. Not saying it any like political or spiritual way. I'm saying just like the fog in my brain is cleared, and I'll dig into how I perceive that to be spiritually, religiously, politically, biologically, um, and I'm pretty like open-minded guy. I'm down to earth, grounded guy. I believe in personal liberty, and I believe in the freedom of speech, and I believe in the freedom of expression, and I am an open feminist. I am an open ally to people of all colors and creeds and nationalities and backgrounds. I've met people who are in every way that they can be different than me, and I've loved them. And I've had great conversations and had amazing interactions with like people all over this country. And not obviously like this is a brief period, but I've moved a lot in my life. I've also been to Japan. I lived in Japan, in Okinawa. I've I was born in Arkansas. I've been to Arkansas when I was born, and then I think maybe 2 or 3 other times after that. And I never lived in Arkansas since I was born there. Um, I just recently was passed through Arkansas to get here. But I was born in Arkansas, and then not long after, my brother and my mom and I left Arkansas with I well yeah, and then we left. We went to Mississippi for a brief period, where my brother was born, and then we left there, and then we went from Mississippi to Missouri, and then Missouri we were there for a long time. Like we moved around in Missouri, but collectively we were in Missouri I think for 9 years, and then we oh right yeah, so we were in Missouri was the last place we were talking about, but we went from I was born in Arkansas, brother was born in Mississippi. We went from Mississippi to Missouri, and then we were in Missouri for 9 years. Went from Missouri to Florida, briefly, well for a few years, different parts of Florida, and then we went from Florida to Okinawa for 2 years. Okinawa back, then we went from Okinawa to Mississippi, and for a period I lived with my brother, and I lived with my mom. Then we lived with my father, and then moved between different places in those time periods. And then that was into high school. And then in high school, so I graduated in 2011 in Mississippi, and